Teach Me Online. Now in this video, we're going to look at another sample essay by one of my students. Here, we're looking at indirect tax and then also an educational campaign. Right, so it was one of the past year question that came out. Let's look at it. Right, this was a May-June 2018 paper, version 23. So in March 2016, the United Kingdom government announced that it will introduce a sugar tax on the producers of fizzy soft drinks in order to reduce child obesity. Discuss whether a sugar tax or an educational campaign on healthy eating is more likely to reduce child obesity. Now, in this question, we can actually divide it into 4 parts, right? The first part, basically, they want you to analyze the impact of sugar tax, whether it will help to reduce child obesity. The second part, we're going to analyze education campaign, where we're talking about awareness programs, right? So you analyze on them, whether that's going to help. And the third part, you have to evaluate. Remember, evaluation is 4 marks. So you have to actually say what could be the possibility that this may work or this may not work. Normally, in evaluation, we will look into the long run impact or effect and the short run effect, elasticities and such. So we will go through this later. And finally, you just make a conclusion. It doesn't matter whether you agree sugar tax will be more helpful or an educational campaign will be helpful, or you can actually combine both and give a conclusion that both working, one working in the short run and the other working in the long run may work as well. Now I've done an outline here. Now let's have a look. So as I said, the first part, we're going to talk about the effects of sugar tax on reducing child obesity. If you know how to draw your graph well, do so. Now here it's sugar tax is a form of an indirect tax. So you draw a graph with the supply, decreasing the supply, shifting the supply curve inward. Then you analyze what happens to the equilibrium price, and basically a tax will decrease your quantity, equilibrium quantity, and what happens to the tax revenue. Analyze that in that point of view. After that, you move on to another paragraph where you talk about the effects of educational campaign on reducing child obesity. Here, it's not necessary, but in this case, my student have done a graph. In this case, she clearly said that, the difference between an indirect tax and an educational campaign will be that sugar tax decreases the supply, whereas educational campaign helps to decrease demand, and both will decrease the quantity consumed, right? And she analyzed further whether it will be workable solution. Then she moved on to make an evaluation whether it will work. In this case, you see sugar being, for some, can be very addictive in nature. So probably we can talk about it as a PED in the point of PED. Opportunity cost, or again, when you want to create an educational campaign, government do need a huge sum of money. So we see whether the government has the fund available. And lastly, you make a conclusion. Doesn't matter whether you want to say, yeah, it may work, it may not work. It's totally up to you. Okay, this is the rough idea, a draft on how you can actually, a draft outline, I would say, that would help. Then, yeah, you can have a look at the essay now. But before that, please do give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That will really motivate me to put up more essays for you guys. Yeah, that's it. So here's the essay. Hope it is helpful. Thank you, guys.